It's been on the market for 6 weeks.
I'm looking for a more modern home.
Well, that is not a good start.
In our minds, everything looks great.
This is unacceptable. When you're selling your house, it can be really hard to know which home improvements are going to give you the best return on your investment. My job is to give guidance to homeowners to turn their unsellable houses into surefire sellers. At $279,000, this modest home in a family-friendly neighbourhood has 2 bedrooms, a separate dining room, a garage in the back, and is 960 square feet. It's been on the market for 6 weeks, and there hasn't been a single bite. That is why I'm here to convert this unsellable house from sad to sold. Gail works in marketing and event management, feisty and independent. She raises her 2 daughters, Chanel 19 and Tyra 15, on her own. They've been loving their home for more than 5 years.
Up or down? Getting this home was like a milestone in my life. It was my first home. The kids and I were on our own. This was the perfect size for us at the time.
But the house doesn't suit their needs anymore.
I'm in the basement alone. I feel like I'm part of the family if I was upstairs with them.
This house is very small, and I need more space to move around.
I'm looking for a more modern home, something with a lot more space.
2 months ago, Gail took matters into her own hands.
I can sell it on my own. I don't need to bring in an agent. So I created my own listing. I did a mass email to a lot of people that I know. I also put it on an internal bulletin at my job, as well as on the internet.
But her plan backfired.
I didn't get a lot of interest. It was a disaster. After about 6 weeks of selling it on my own, I went and got a professional.
So for Gail, it's now or never.
In order for the kids and I to move forward, this house has to sell.
Gail's semi-detached house is one of many similar homes in this up-and-coming hotspot 20 minutes west of the city centre. Houses like hers sell in 15 days for around $300,000. And even though Gail listed her house at $279,000, with 4 open houses and 10 showings, she's had no offers. Competition for affordable homes like Gail's is fierce, so why has it been on the market for 6 weeks? I'm gonna go and find out. Look, one good tug and I could literally rip this off. The paint is all peeling. There's a disassembled table over there. This porch is hazardous, unsightly. And with this porch in this condition, there's no way Gail could talk any buyer into a sale. Dining room with quite a lot of eclectic furniture. It's like someone sort of half-heartedly tried to make this house ready for sale. Peeling 80s peach wallpaper and a manky old carpet runner. I never understand why people put their largest pieces of furniture blocking the doorway, because it makes the room feel smaller because you've got to manoeuvre around. And they couldn't even put their blinds straight. Oh, I was expecting a terrible kitchen. Moving on through. This is unacceptable. You cannot sell a house with a back porch in this condition. I dread to think what's upstairs. This might be one of the worst paint jobs I've ever seen. I find it hard to believe that anyone thinks that you can show a house in this state and expect it to sell. No wonder Gail is feeling overwhelmed. Any buyer walking in off the street would feel exactly the same. First, Gail thought she could sell her house without an agent. Second, because of its condition, buyers perceive her home as structurally unsound. And finally, people aren't willing to pay $279,000 and then spend even more money getting the house to the standard it should be. And that, my friends, is what is stopping this house from getting sold. If Gail wants to move, she needs to listen to what I have to say. Gail, this house obviously holds good memories for you. It's your first house.
Yes.
Where you brought up your 2 girls.
Yeah.
When you first put your house on the market, you didn't put it on with a real estate agent. Why was that?
Well, I was thinking with my marketing and promotion background that I can use the same skills to market and promote the house.
Yeah.
I realize now that it's much more than an agent does and what I was trying to do, and I appreciate what they do.
A lot of people make up their minds about whether they want to buy a house in 60 seconds.
Right.
Now, they're going to spend at least 60 seconds on the porch checking out all the damage.
I was thinking that it was outside and it didn't really matter.
Curb appeal is very important. You look at 25 houses, you might drive past a few of them.
Right.
And if they don't look great from the outside, you might not even bother to go in the first place.
Okay.
The wallpaper in the hallway is literally coming off the walls. Now, you want buyers to think that the house is in tip-top condition, not just decorative-wise, but structurally as well.
I bought it the way it was, so I figured someone else could see the beauty in the house.
Now, the living room, the sofa you're sitting on is quite large.
Right.
And it's right in front of the doorway. I know. Much too big for the room.
We've been here for so long, we kind of got used to everything, and then in our minds, everything looks great.
Your bedroom. Would you say
Thought it came out.
painting was your forte?
No. I thought it was, but it's not.
The problem when you choose a very, very strong colour is some people are going to like it, some people aren't. And the thing when you're selling your house is you don't want to alienate people. You want everyone to like it.
Right.
So are you ready to help me get this house sold?
Yep, I'm ready because we're ready to sell and we're ready to move on.
This pocket of affordable homes in a close-knit uptown community is a golden ticket to first-time buyers. Gail's house has been on the market for 6 weeks. Initially, she went down the private sales route, but with little success, so she decided to employ a real estate agent. And I'm going to go and have a word with the agent, Deb, to see what she's doing to get this house sold. Debs, now Gail decided to sell her house privately. What would you say the pitfalls of choosing that route are?
First and foremost, she doesn't have access to MLS, which, of course, is accessible by over 25,000 agents. And along with that comes legal elements. So I think that when people try to sell their homes privately, they might become targets for somebody that might not have the purest thoughts. You know, this is where mortgage fraud and real estate fraud might enter into it.
How would you differentiate yourself from another real estate agent? What do you think you bring to the table?
Understanding the marketplace, what's happening in the particular area. So you're in a position to really be able to sell the house from the perspective not only of the seller, but of the buyer that might be looking to move in.
What advice did you give to Gail?
It's got to be extremely clean. People can be very forgiving of houses that don't meet their standard of decor and design, provided the house is sparkling.
What have you done to market the property so far?
There'll be an agent open house. There'll be weekend open houses. I have a database of over 1,000 people that I send out a print piece to. I also get on the phone and I call a lot of the local offices, make them aware that I'm sending through something to them to create an awareness at their office meetings.
First-time buyer coming through the house and they see the peeling paint, they see the slightly unstable porch. How do you turn the situation around?
If you say to them walking in the door, ignore the decor. Put your own stamp on this, but consider the fact that it's priced to sell.
Once we have sorted out the exterior, given it a fresh coat of paint, modernised the sitting room, the dining room and the master bedroom, are you confident that this is going to appeal to the first-time buyers?
I hope so.
Gail did the right thing by hiring an agent, but she still needs to see what a move-in ready house looks like. I'm taking her to one that sold in just 7 days for an incredible $57,000 over asking. Okay, Gail, you want to invite the buyers in.
Right.
And you do that through curb appeal. So come on up to the porch. It's warm, it's inviting, it's well maintained.
Yeah.
It bodes well for the inside.
Yeah.
Well, come on inside. Freshly painted front door. What is it specifically you like about this room?
The color they use for the paint is very soothing.
They've positioned the furniture perfectly. Doesn't feel crowded, clean, decluttered. Come through to the dining room. Now, what do you think of the flow between the sitting room and the dining room?
It's a great flow because the colors are the same, I notice, versus in my place, and the carpet continues from room to room.
I want to kind of create more of a flow, so your ground floor matches.
Got it.
Anyway, come up to the bedroom.
All right.
I always say to people, when you're choosing paint colours for a house, when you're for the purpose of sale,
Right.
go for colours that increase the sense of space and light in a room.
Right.
If people see peeling paint, the porch stairs falling off the back, they're gonna think there are serious structural problems with your house, and that's gonna scare them away.
Right.
This house sold in 7 days for 13% over asking.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna make your house look as great as this.
I feel positive that I'm gonna have a good outcome from it.
Okay, well, if we stand around jabbering, we're not gonna get anything done, so come on. Our general contractor, Anthony Sayers, is here to get Gail's house in tip-top condition. Now, Gail, this house has got me a bit worried because there is a lot of remedial work to do. Because remember what I said about curb appeal, people doing drive-bys and not necessarily coming in the house if it doesn't look in tip-top condition. And this porch does not scream by me.
We're gonna resand the front porch and repaint it.
Okay.
We're gonna leave the wallpaper in the family room, sitting room. And we're gonna make it work with the furniture we choose. We're gonna have a nice retro feel to it.
We need to just repaint the whole stairwell and then re-carpet the stairs. The next is the master bedroom.
We wanna put a brighter, more neutral color in there, and they'll be able to see that it's a good, well-finished paint job. So are you ready to get a paintbrush out?
I'm ready.
Homeowners don't notice clutter hiding the best features of a home, but buyers do. Remove or store large items. People need to focus on the house, not on your furniture. Don't let a potential sale be ruined because of a dodgy booby trap. So think safety. Hazardous construction should be fixed or torn down. Knowing what buyers want is key to selling your home. This price point attracts first-time buyers who don't part with their money easily. Poor upkeep results in no offers. Even though the changes have barely begun, Gail knows there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
This whole process of making the changes to the house in order for me to sell is definitely an eye-opener. And I've learned a lot from it.
Gail's house has been on the market for 6 weeks. With 4 open houses and 10 showings, her dream to move to a turnkey home has been put on hold. We've only got 3 days before the open house. Improving the staircase will help get a sale. I'm just taking the last of the tacks out of the carpet so I can rip it out. I am so relieved we're getting rid of this carpet. It looks like the new runner is thin enough so Anthony can use a staple gun.
You want to staple all the way along here. Make sure it's nice and secure, right? And then afterwards, you would put the nosing back, screw it down. See how it covers the carpet?
Covers it and presumably helps hold it in place.
Yeah. So I'm just using staples, and I'm gonna then tuck the carpet into each corner and then staple, a lot of staples again, all the way along. And then you repeat all the way down, same thing.
And 120 bucks later, you got yourself a brand new staircase.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty nice.
To keep one step ahead of the competition, Gail's walls need painting and repairing.
Tara, you missed this spot over here.
In this up-and-coming area, buyers want to see pride of ownership. So we're fixing Gail's porch.
I've already prepared this whole thing.
We've got to attach it to the wall there. How do we do that?
We're just gonna use these 3-inch wood screws.
Right.
Toe screw into the top rail, into the piece of wood that's been attached to the wall.
Did you say toad, as in the frog?
I said a toe screw.
Toe.
It's when you angle the screw, like downwards like that, or sideways.
How are we going to make this unwobbly?
I screw it in at the top and the bottom. Then I'll attach the railing coming up the stairs.
Okay. Are you using toe screws there
Yes,
as well?
again, yes.
See, I'm learning stuff. Careful with my legs, they're not insured.
There.
How do we neaten this up?
Well, we'll just make sure that the screws are countersink into the wood, and then I'll fill them with some wood filler.
And then we prime and paint it. And do we have to paint it in any kind of special outdoor paint? Because...
Yes, the exterior paint.
So is my job here done?
Yeah, you've been very helpful. There.
First-time buyers or young couples don't really want to have to do a lot of work themselves. You know, they're prepared to do a bit.
Right.
But if you make the house look a bit more finished, it's not going to scare anyone off.
Right.
I think you could do with a bit of practice in the painting department. So I might hand you the brush
Thank you.
come back and inspect in, a little bit.
Alrighty.
It's a very important step, caulking this baseboard. It seals whatever gaps or cracks that you have so that when you're ready to paint, it will finish off nicely. Get your caulking, take the knife and just cut the tip of it, a 45-degree angle. And what you want to do is you want to test out a bead of caulk so that you make sure that you maintain an even bead as you're going. I don't want the caulking to set up and dry. So I'm just going to be working in 2 to 3 foot sections at a time. You want to pull the gun towards you. So you never want to push it because that will cause the bead to go uneven. You don't want to go too fast because then that will leave gaps. And I like to just use my finger because I find it works better. So I just damp it a little bit and just spread the caulking into the joint. All right, see how nice that is? And then you want to just let it set up for about 24 hours before you go ahead and paint it.
With the dirty work almost done, finishing touches are a necessity to attract the discerning buyer. If you can't afford to reupholster, then slipcovers are a fantastic way to update your furniture, and you don't have to customise them because there are plenty of colours and sizes online or in your local department store. If you've got a battered old staircase, a carpet runner like this one could be the answer to your prayers. It's a great problem solver because it spruces up and adds character and colour to what can be a bit of a dead space. Customised drapes can cost a bomb, but I'm going to let you into a little secret. You can pick up discount drapes at any home interiors store, and by adding some leftover material to the bottom, you have created a customised chic look for next to nothing. With the updates complete, will buyers still treat Gail's house as a drive-by? When I first walked into Gail's house, I was horrified by the amount of work we needed to do to get this house ready for sale. But now I couldn't be happier with the results. No wonder Gail had a rough time selling her house. The first thing people saw was her rundown porch. Maximising curb appeal, we've built a new railing, as well as giving a fresh coat of paint to every surface. We've brightened up the front by planting some flowers too. So, by renovating the outside, we've added value to the inside. Buyers did an about-face in the mismatched dining room. We've created consistency by adding chic, modern chairs, crisp table linen, and bright wall paint. Ooh, and no more Las Vegas chandelier either. The hallway looked like a lot of work to first-time buyers. With the updated walls and a new carpet, people will no longer mistake this house as a DIY money pit. In the living room, Gail's oversized and badly placed sofas made this room look tiny. Keeping one couch and adding a few inexpensive pieces highlight focal points. We've given buyers a space they can see themselves living in. In the bedroom, buyers had issues with the sloppy paint job and the colour of the walls. New paint, curtains, linens, and modern lighting turn this room into exactly the type of retreat people want to escape to. This house has all the class of $1 million home, but at an affordable price. We've changed the perception of Gail's house from a structurally unsound DIY project to a flexible living space that first-time buyers can truly appreciate. If you're thinking of selling your home yourself, you should check out these numbers first. Only 5% of homes are sold by their owners via the internet, compared to a whopping 81% sold by agents and brokers. Real estate agents have the experience needed to price your home effectively, so it can sell for up to 16% more than through private sale. Build a strong relationship with your agent. Get them to work for you. It's your house, and you have the right to approve any marketing strategies, including the information and photographs on your listing. With Gail's house looking the way she's always wanted, will she feel like leaving?
It's not shaking. I love the color. It's so bright in here. I love it. Ooh la 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 la. This is really super duper nice. I'm so impressed with the changes that were done. And now I'm thinking I really have to get on it and find a place to live.
Gail is convinced. Now will Debs, her agent, be able to sell this house?
With this curb appeal, this invitation to come in, you have no idea how much easier it is going to be to sell this home.
Do you think this is what first-time buyers are looking for?
Absolutely. This is what's going to emotionally pull them in. That light fixture is heavenly. And people will look at that and they'll know they'll want to write that into the offer. They'll look at the draperies and they'll want to write that into the offer. Now I can say this is worth every penny that it's priced to.
Hooray! Gail's new agent approves. One last hurdle, the buyers. This house is priced at $279,000.
That's amazing. Because most of the houses I've looked at are considerably more money.
Yeah.
And not nearly as nice. First time buyer home, for sure.
A street appeal to a house is important to me.
So you've seen the house before?
Very quickly. I had a quick breezed in, breezed out as fast as I breezed in. I can imagine living here.
Do you think this has got what it takes as an investment property for you?
I think so.
We have converted Gail's modest, semi-detached house into a home that I think any first-time buyer would be proud of. Gail and her girls are one step closer to getting their unsellable house sold. Sure enough, just after the Unsellables left, Gail accepted an offer of just under the asking price. We've turned this house from unsellable to sold.
Wow, this is great. It's gonna be very hard to leave. Are those my old ugly drapes you guys fixed? I'm not gonna wanna leave. Wow, this is like a whole different place. It's so much brighter in here. It's like